The brothers Terry are family. Sadly, that does not mean they are family friendly. This podcast almost certainly contains language that will offend their mother, and probably yours. Sorry, moms. Also, their opinions that you probably don't care about may or may not be shared by those who sponsor this podcast.
All right, so we're back with episode 11.
Welcome.
Oh, here we are.
I thought it was episode 10.
You're right. I did a whole rigmarole before we started, and I still got it wrong. So episode 10.
Episode 10.
And we have here with us a special guest who's going to cue our theme song.
Cue that theme song.
That's pretty good. But you know what, though?
What do I got to do? I don't know.
You got to do it into the mic.
Oh. Cue that theme song. Where is it? I don't hear it.
It's weird when you don't get to hear it, huh? I put it in later.
Oh,
yeah.
I wanted to hear it. It was going to get me in the mood.
Oh, man.
I can put it on.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Just
not
sing
in the
it,
mood
Russell.
now.
Just sing it.
I'm not in the mood to
Not in
do
the mood
this.
to record.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to cooking.
What are you making?
I'm doing healthy meal preps for paying customers.
That's a good idea. Mm-hmm. What do you charge?
I charge about $12 a meal because that's cheaper than like Blue Apron and stuff, and you don't have to like make it yourself. You know what I mean? You just throw it in the microwave, and it's good to go.
Well, what do you call it? What do you call this adventure?
I call this, I didn't want to do it, but I'm helping somebody out, and they're giving me a little cash in return, and hopefully it doesn't catch on, or I might have to start reporting my income.
All right, so I went ahead and captured that URL for you. It's a little long, but I didn't want to start recording my numbers for business tax purposes, but it's $12 a month.com.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So yeah, go there and sign up for Steven's new. So is that where you've been?
Yeah.
That's where he's been.
You've been in the kitchen?
Yeah, I've been cooking for 3 months.
Just slaving away in there, making those healthy meals for people.
He's making paella.
Yeah.
I made all this paella.
I don't remember what that's from.
Yeah.
It's from Seinfeld.
Oh, that's right.
all
I made all this
I made all
paella.
this paella.
No,
I feel like all of our older listeners just went like, how can you not know?
I'm our older listener.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Rob.
So a lot of people have actually. We should do our official intros. So I'm the oldest brother, Jamie, and I didn't pick a physical trait. Shoot.
Weren't we going to start this year with something different instead of physical traits? It was something else.
Man, she pays way more attention to our podcast than we fucking do.
Here's what we'll do. It'll be something whimsical every time. So I'm the oldest brother, Jamie, and I'm a Hufflepuff.
Oh,
Very progressive.
Thank you.
does Steven even know what he is?
Let's find out.
You're the middle
You
brother.
are the
You're
middle
Steven.
brother still, yeah.
Yes, I'm aware of this, but
Man, you're out of the groove. You gotta keep it flowing.
I don't.
I help. You want me to write it down? I'm the middle brother, Steven. Now you do it.
Are we glued to Hogwarts houses then? That's what we're doing though.
Yeah.
Unless you can think of something funny without derailing the show. Throw it out there. Your podcast, baby.
I'm the middle brother, Steven, and I am probably a Ravenclaw.
Really?
Probably.
Okay.
Not by choice. It's the Sorting Hats deal.
Hey, that's fair.
I'm Russ. I'm the youngest brother, and I'm a Ravenpuff.
A raven.
A Raven. I've taken the test twice on 2 different accounts, and I got Hufflepuff on one and Ravenclaw on the other.
Interesting.
Shit's rigged.
Yeah.
My wife thinks I'm closer to... I'm married now. My wife thinks I'm closer to a Ravenclaw, though.
Really?
Yes.
I don't peg any of us as Ravenclaws.
I don't know what it is.
Well, let's see. We have with us today, by actually the highly popular demand, we have our highly requested guest. Mom is here.
It's the Mothra.
It's the Mothra
is
hour.
here.
The Mothra.
And the Mothra it's been a while since Mothra was sat under the Sorting Hat, but I believe I don't even know. I'm Snape.
You're Snape.
Is that a thing?
Everybody's favorite spoiler character. Yeah, you are Snape. I wouldn't put you down. You're Snoop.
Mother is in house.
Yeah,
Snape.
Instead of Snoop, I'm Snape.
Professor Snoop.
Those are houses. House Snoop.
House Snoop.
House Snoop.
When the pimp's in the give, ma, drop it like it's hot. That's Snoop, dog.
I don't listen to Snoop, so I wouldn't know. All right, so on this episode, we thought it would be fun to have Mom on because every time we're telling our stories, Mom, she'll always text and be like, hold up, that's not quite how it went down. We thought we would give Mom a chance to correct some of those stories that you got to all hear through the last 9 episodes.
I thought it was 11. Just kidding.
This one goes to 11.
These all go to 11.
So what, Mom, would you say is probably the biggest, the first thing that stands out in your mind from one of our previous episodes of, no, that's not even close to how it went down?
Well, the one that bothered me the most, or I shouldn't even say it bothered me because it was kind of funny, but when I got the nickname of Snoop. I did read a letter, but the letter was not hidden.
Now, I did Snoop, but you don't
Yes, I
call
did
me Snoop.
I did read the letter, but the letter was not hidden in some magical windowsill thing that was not glued down because I don't even remember that ever being somewhere in the house. And you were in this room. You were in the front room, not the downstairs room. Because you were in 7th-ish grade.
Yeah, I would have been in junior high.
Yeah, and it was the front room. You were in my scrapbook room or the front room that's now my scrapbook
What
room.
did I hide in the windowsill in high school then?
Same thing I did.
But
So where was the letter then?
it was, I don't recall exactly where it was, but it was in sight. I believe it was on your desk or your bed. And I picked up the letter and I thought, wonder what kind of things the little girls were saying about my Jamie.
So it was in an envelope.
It was in, I don't even think it was in an envelope. It was just folded up. And
So you had to unfold it.
I had to unfold it. Yes, I was snooping.
There it is.
Yes, I was snooping, but
The
it
admission.
wasn't hidden like where you said because it was out in the open.
How did you know what it
Open.
was, though, if it was folded and closed? Sealed
I
or
think
not?
it had your name on it or something, like a little note, like people pass around notes when you're in.
But it was distinguishably like a little girl saying something about Jamie?
Yes.
Somehow? Okay.
And I thought, oh, how cute. And I read it and it freaked me out because this person was obsessed. It said like weird things that I wouldn't even say to your dad.
You're not
it
obsessed with
scared
Dad?
me. Well, you know, I am.
He's obsessed with himself enough.
This is true. But yeah, it just kind of scared me, the things that she was saying at such a young age. And it's like,
I won't let you read any of my fan mail then, because that's so much even worse.
Yeah, Russell's right. You don't say those things about Dad? You guys okay? Is this the platform you want to admit this to us?
Yeah. Should we get him in here? We only have 4 microphones, so we have to vote Steven back off.
Oh.
well,
I'll go back to the kitchen.
So, all right. So, do we get rid of Snoops then, the nickname, or has it stuck? Or you're not on trial here, but if
I
you
like
feel
Snape.
I'm super
I
feeling
wanna be
Snapes.
Snoop, but I want to feel, Snapes.
Snapes.
I mean, it is saved on my Google Cloud for when I transfer my contacts between phones. Every time I get a new phone, so I'm
Yeah, if
kinda
it's in the
stuck.
cloud, we can do.
Yeah.
I
My hands
really
are
don't
tied.
feel like I was a Snoop, though. I feel like I was protecting my children or my child from this weird, obsessed little 12-year-old girl, or I don't know how old she was, but it kind of freaked me out because she was saying
I
some
don't
pretty.
even remember the letter.
I don't either, but it was. I don't remember specific things that was said, but I do remember it scared me because of the content. It was a little unnerving with.
In any other context, though, this would be hilarious that Mom had to protect you. Your mom had to protect you from a 12-year-old little girl.
Well, you were my innocent. You were my innocent Jamie, so I couldn't have.
She's probably what turned me into a hopeless romantic, actually. So here's a story that I've never thought I would share, but it's kind of funny. She was like always wanting poetry
Wanting.
and sweet. No, not that kind
Well,
of.
she was.
She did take away my innocence. No, I'm just kidding. No, she. But she always wanted me to write her poetry, and she was just like, write me poems, and she wanted poems and love letters, and I wasn't good at that because she was like the first like girl that showed interest in me, kind of, and so we growing up, listened to a lot of 80s rock. What's the band? I'm cutting this out because I can't remember which band it is, but I'm going to have to sing the song.
Sing this song.
Do it.
Let's hear it.
Keep it in.
Yeah, please don't cut. If you
Don't cut this.
Whatever you sing.
I'll join you.
Something about... I look at your window...
Excuse me?
No. Is it,
No wonder Mom was scared of this girl.
is it,
I look at your window or in your window?
Excuse me?
oh, shoot. This is going to be such a good story. And I can't even remember how the song
Come through my
goes.
window? Like,
No, come through my window. No, but I wanted to sing that with y'all for a minute. No, is it bread?
if a picture paints 1,000 words, then
You did have a
why
bread
can't
album.
I paint you?
No, it's not that
No,
one.
okay.
It's the
Equally
one.
as weird.
Something about looking in a window.
To the wall.
Sweat ran down my balls.
I like how I censored it and just hummed it, and you went for it.
See, that's where we get it.
He's climbing in your windows? No, that's not a song.
No, it is.
The,
LaBeouf.
Bed intruders. I better not Google stuff because it's coming up with some weird things here.
dang it. Because I'm not going to be able to find it. The window's not even the focus of the song. But it was like a ballad from one of those 80s rock bands.
Can you remember? Like, just give me some
Scorpions?
pieces. Give me some of the lyrics.
Who did Mr. Roboto?
Sticks.
It's a Styx song.
It's a sick
kidding me.
song.
It can't be a stick song.
Sticks would never look through windows.
Yeah, they just want to sail away.
No, there's a song that it's talking about walking around, and I come up and I looked at your window.
I'm walking out the front door because there's a man down there.
No,
Both of these sound terrifying.
damn it! I
Are
swear.
you
I
sure
heard
it's
it
Styx?
before. It might not be Styx, but
Oh Christ!
that. Yeah, we shouldn't waste any more time on it.
I was gonna
but-
say the rewards kind of fizzled out at this point. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yes, that one song. What did you have to say about that?
remember? No, but she just wanted. So she was just obsessed with wanting poetry, and so I took a ballad from. I'm pretty sure it was a Styx song, and I just listened to the song. I pulled out the album cover and pulled up the lyrics, and I just copied that and just swapped out a couple of words for her name, or changed stuff that was really weird or didn't completely fit, and so I gave it to her, and I just remember the look on her face when she was reading it. She was so excited to get this poem that I wrote her, and it was just crappy lyrics to an 80s love ballad. And I thought, there's no way other people listen to this song, so it always made
There's
me...
no such thing as a crappy.
I was just
80s
going to say the same thing.
They're fabulous, all of them.
She didn't recognize it as lyrics though.
No, she also didn't recognize it as poetry. She didn't recognize it as anything she was interested in reading. Just the look on her face was like, she was so excited to get it, and then as she was going and reading it out loud, and so I'm like hearing the song in my head as she's reading it. So to me, it sounds great, but she's just like, well, it didn't even rhyme because it's like, one of those kind of songs.
Window bread.
What the hell is this?
It was either a song by Bread or Styx that had a window in it. I'm gonna find it. That'll be my homework.
Well, no wonder she was obsessed with you though. Like, these guys are like Density Young. He wrote amazing lyrics, captivating lyrics for these young girls.
Yeah, so I either really nailed it or she was just like, what the hell is this?
I want to know, though, was it my album that you were reading the lyrics from? Or was it your album?
Like when I owned?
Yeah, I mean, where you saw the lyrics. Where did you see the lyrics? From my CD?
Yeah,
It
from
had to
it
be
was
your
from, it was
dad,
from the
yeah.
CD booklet. And what's funny is I remember doing that in this
there.
upstairs room. So you're right. It wasn't in the basement.
I am right.
You are.
Like most times, I'm
All
right.
right. We'll remove the Snoops. We'll add the Snapes. That's fine.
No, I was a snoop, but it was okay. I was being protective. It was a protective instinct.
Well, you don't need to justify your behavior. Compared to other stories I've heard from friends and stuff, like, is where people would always be like, oh, I can't stand my parents. I'm just like, I like my parents.
Yeah.
And also, to be fair, we did clarify in the episode that we probably gave you plenty of reason to be
Absolutely.
concernedly snooping.
Especially Steven. He gave you the most reason. You took away his door because
I
he
did
gave
take
you
away
so...
his door. Your wife complains about that to me a lot.
She's
Even now.
she's just protecting me though.
Yes, she is protecting you. This is correct. Yeah.
No, she's just worried you're going to come take their door off their home now.
Yeah, I didn't know about that kind of, I don't want to call it punishment, but until I was with Jamie, I didn't hear it or didn't know about it with Jamie, so I'd heard about it. Take away their privacy, and that's a punishment. That's a form of punishment.
Privacy is a privilege.
Wait, you heard
Privacy
about
is a privilege, Anna.
You heard about that from Jamie?
No.
I went upstairs. I was like,
take away his
like,
door.
Mom, take away his door.
No, that's
Just
what it
take away
sounded
his
like.
door.
I was like, what?
No, not from Jamie. I hadn't. No, when he was growing up with the girls and the letters and stuff. I mean, he really didn't do anything that I felt like he needed to be punished for as much as you.
That's fair.
That's because
So I didn't know about it when he was growing up, but he didn't really.
I never needed punishment. I was perfect.
Yeah.
Very perfect.
He had the wool pulled over my eyes.
You and Dad sat me down and you said, if you are 100% honest, we'll let you do whatever you want. That doesn't mean there won't be consequences to whatever you do, but we'll let you do if you're just honest with us. And I was like, fine, I'll be 100% honest and watch this backfire. And it didn't. I was always honest and they let me do what I wanted.
He was pretty honest.
And then Russell was the
And then
ultimate
Russell
liar.
came along.
I was the liar. Yeah.
One thing that made me think, when you say that I came up with the door punishment, I didn't. But do you guys remember when we were growing up, we'd play Who's the Judge? Do you remember this, Mom? I brought it up before, but you guys didn't seem to remember.
Who's the judge?
Who's the judge?
Yeah.
Mom.
I bet it was you.
No, but Dad would always play this, and he'd be like, if we ever asked Dad for something, oh, Dad, can I go ride my bike? And he'd turn to Steven. Steven's the judge. Steven, can Jamie go ride his bike?
okay.
Yeah.
When you say it like that, yeah.
Who's the judge?
I just remember playing Meet Your New Mommy and stuff. Those are my favorite.
What?
We're gonna circle.
No.
We're gonna circle back to that, but
I think it's sad that I didn't remember Who's the Judge, but I did remember that game.
I don't remember this
yeah,
game.
I'm trying to remember this game too. They never tried to give me away. What do you?
Oh no, it was the best. We'd be driving down the road with Dad on Saturday, going hitting pawn shops, and anybody walking on the street, even if it was a guy, he'd be like, "Meet your new mommy."
Yeah.
And I'd always be like, "Who is it?" Oh, I'd look out the window and be like, "No, Dad, no."
It should, to be fair, there's your new blank, because sometimes there's your new mom, or
There's your new mom.
that's our new house.
That's what I remember.
You'd see like a house, like a framework of a house being
Our new
constructed.
house is
He'd be
almost
like,
complete.
Our new house is almost done, guys.
Yeah, that was always so confusing.
Yeah.
We had so many houses.
Never knew where we lived.
any building that was under construction, like massive church, a big office building, even your new house is almost complete.
It's almost done,
It's like,
guys.
oh, we're gonna have so much room. Yeah, did we not mention that we're at Mom's house? So
I don't
we're
think
like,
we did.
We didn't.
We grew up here.
We did.
Yes.
So it's like we all came back together for this.
And as you can see, there's no windowsill that you can
fixed
just lift
them.
up.
Yeah, you repaired it. Dad,
I didn't
that's
repair
what Dad
anything.
said. He said he
Dad
glued
glued
Dad
them.
said he glued it, but then when I said, which one did you glue? He couldn't remember. He didn't. I said,
Got like
tell me,
7
but-
windowsills.
Yeah,
It's a lot to keep
Could
track
have been
of.
any of them.
could be any of them. We played musical rooms a lot with you guys.
We did. Why is that?
I don't know.
I never got to live downstairs, and I'm sad.
You never did?
No.
No,
That
but
was the best room.
it was, but it.
It was the best with a door.
I wouldn't know.
So one thing that I wrote down here that I wasn't sure if I would ever bring up was disgusting things that kids do. I thought that could be a fun topic.
Oh no.
So when you think back on disgusting things your boys did, what's the first thing that maybe pops into your head?
Crunchy socks. Yes.
I was not expecting that.
Neither was I.
My wife is home nodding her head. I just... And I can say that because she doesn't listen. I'm safe.
Yes. It was like, why are these socks crunchy? And your dad had to tell me probably what it was when you guys hit adolescence, and I don't know what you were doing, but I was like,
We freeze dried all of our socks.
That is so funny. This is the kind of family fun you can have when you start a podcast with your brothers and invite your mom on the show. Oh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. So the first time you ever saw him, he's like, "What the hell is
yeah,
this?"
why is this so stiff. I don't understand why this sock is like this. And like,
They have some
is it
hardy
like,
sweat in their feet.
Yeah, like, I don't think they sweat that much.
Athlete's foot.
That's what that is.
Athlete something, but it was, kind of gross. When I realized what it was, your dad had to help. It's like, what? They don't do stuff like that. Well,
So, not your perfect child, anyways. It was the other two. They were the ones.
you know,
How did Dad
I
know?
think it happened with all of them.
He's blaming us.
He's seen it before.
Maybe he was doing the socks and putting
Maybe
them on
he
our
was.
floor.
That's not,
like-
yeah.
Yep.
It's got to be the boys.
So it was weird. It's like, my socks aren't going to fit, Dad. Why does he want my socks?
He's asking for a...
Well, no, I was actually thinking of peeing in the trash can.
Yeah.
And so there was
in the
this...
closet.
Well, I was going to get there, but...
And my bed.
Well, I was going to get there, too. And the heater vent. I don't know what it was, but, like, we had this Raiders trash can, and that's where I remember the first thing being.
With a hoop on it?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing was rad.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was just like this metal can.
Yeah, I bought it for your dad
Yeah,
for his birthday
my
one
whole-
year.
And you peed in it.
And you peed in it and left it in there, and then the whole bottom rusted out. And then, of course, Mom can't smell, so she doesn't know
And that
that there was
was...
pee.
Yeah, that's true, because you can't smell.
Yeah. I think I could smell a little bit back then, but
I'm not sure how I could live with it.
yeah, I was...
But
I
yeah,
don't
it was the first time I'd moved into the basement, and there's no bathroom downstairs. And so I was just lazy. And I was like, I'm just going to pee in this trash can instead of walking all the way upstairs to go pee. And so I peed in the trash can. Then it sat there, and it was metal, so it rusted out the bottom, and it ruined the trash can. A really cool Raiders. My whole room was decked out in Raiders when I first moved down there, and that was one of the first things to go, was that trash can. But,
Yeah.
but before then, I had peed in the heater vent when I was upstairs.
When you're upstairs, yeah, I didn't know about that till
That was
later.
more out of curiosity.
Oh, where does
don't
the
know
pee
why.
go when I
Where
pee
does
here?
it go?
Oh.
Oh, goes down the vent. Imagine that. Is that how gravity still works with pee?
But then how does the air come out, Jamie?
Stinkily. After you pee in it.
Did it stink? I
I
don't
don't
even know if I was alive at that point.
Why did I pee in a closet? I don't remember this one.
Because your trash can was rusted out. You didn't have anywhere to see. You had to go pee in the closet.
You're probably trying to uncrust all of your socks.
My socks are too crusty. Let's soften them up a bit. But, yeah, I
Yeah,
just...
boys are just, I think, in general, gross about everything. There was always farting, always burping going on.
I still do
Russ,
that.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
Russell still does that.
No shame over here.
No, that's me.
Go ahead. Do a belch. There it is.
I just
Yeah.
did a little one.
Yeah, let's save the big ones. I don't know, is there any other... And I remember a lot of destruction. Not only are you gross, but we're destructive.
Yes.
We talk all the time about the shit that we broke around the neighborhood, but the house was even full of more stuff we broke.
Yes, and you, Jamie, probably were the most destructive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he was
Like-
perfect.
Well,
What?
he
What
was
the
like,
hell was
oh,
this?
destructively perfect. No, you. I guess maybe more with my stuff or things that it's like, what? The cupboards you would cut, empty the
See-
dishwasher. I think you guys already talked about that once.
We'd all
Maybe
put the
a
knives in
little
the
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what is this? And you cut the edge of the.
in the drawers,
The
so we had to
drawer.
keep flipping them
Did
upside
we
I think
talk
down.
about
that particular one, I think the three of us could be admitted to that.
Well,
I
he got
remember
blamed for
doing
it.
it, yeah.
Jamie got blamed for it because
He
he was
started
the
it.
oldest and he knew better.
Well, it's because after we chopped the top. Well, let me talk about how it happened. So one of our chores was emptying the dishes from the dishwasher. One time whoa.
Jeez.
Speaking of breaking stuff. So as I'm emptying the dishwasher, I go to put a steak knife away, and it kind of glides across the top of the lip of the drawer. And it kind of put a little nick in it, and I was like, oh, no. I'm like, oh, but it was an accident. I'm not going to be in trouble for that. And then, so the next knife that came out, it was like, oops, it was an accident. I won't be in trouble for it. And so then every time I would be putting away a steak knife or even a butter knife, I would always rip just right on the lip there and rub it right across as I'm putting it into the drawer. And then it just got so bad that the whole thing was chopped up, and you were like, what is this? And so
I couldn't figure out what was happening, and then I don't remember if you admitted it to me or if I caught you doing it. I think I caught you.
Oh, probably caught you. That sounds.
I don't remember being caught doing it that time because the way you
That time.
not that time. No, because the way we fixed it is Dad came in and he just flipped the drawer. So he just flipped the face so that now the cuts were on the bottom and weren't as noticeable. But I remember you got home one day and I was emptying the dishes, but I had a knife and I was just chop at the bottom of it, and you were like, "What are you doing? Get up!" I remember getting caught that time.
You said I'm gonna pee in it or cut it. So.
Do you want me to pee in it or do you want me to chop it up? You break yourself or pee on yourself?
Who was the second most destructive?
Probably you. No, probably Russell.
What did I do?
Yeah.
Okay, who's the perfect child now?
You would break apart your toys too. Like if you had a action figure, the arms would come off or the legs would come off. You'd always be breaking their heads off. Or I think all of you did that.
I was going to say, I remember doing that a lot.
I don't remember doing that.
I remember blowing them up with firecrackers and shit. That was
too.
rad.
Yeah.
I did do that.
Army guys
Yeah.
burn them with the matches and.
Yeah, we were all like Sid from Toy Story.
Remember when I lit that firework in my room?
You lit a firework in your room?
Which room?
It was a snake.
Was it a snake or a firework?
It was
Make
a
up your
snake.
mind. What's in this
And it
cup?
made it okay. One of those.
Teeth. Yeah, it's just one of those ones that make the poo-poo trails that...
Oh.
Make a mess. They
Mom
made a
was
mess.
so mad.
Yes.
Which is like on the carpet or what?
No, I had a little, rock candle tray that I had put it in.
Like an incense tray?
No, like a rock candle tray. It was for candles and just had some decorative rocks on it, and I just put it in there and I lit it. And then it was obviously pretty smoky. I didn't realize it would be that bad, but the mom came in and was like, "What the hell are you
Did
doing?"
the smoke detectors go off?
I don't know. Did the smoke tech?
I don't think we had batteries in it.
Oh.
Not up to code around
We
here.
probably broke them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I probably chopped it with a knife.
or peed in them. Keep coming back to that.
No, Steven just liked to light the yard on fire.
I just thought that I liked to. I did it one time, to be fair.
Just once.
Wait, what'd you do?
No, when you and your friends are out back and lighting fireworks
Yeah.
in the weeds.
Yeah. We lit a crackle bomb and it lit that whole hill on fire. It almost
lit our
burned
hill
down
on
the
fire.
house.
And I thought, okay, I'm downstairs in the scrapbook room. And you guys are just outside having fun. And all of a sudden I hear running back and forth, back and forth. I'm thinking, okay, don't go up there. They're just playing hide and seek or something. Don't go up there. And then finally it was just too much. It's like, what is going on? And so I went upstairs and all I could see was black. Track marks all down the hall. In the kitchen. I was like, what is going on? And you told me you didn't think I was home. I remember, because it's like, why didn't you tell me that you started the hill on fire? You didn't tell me, or you didn't think I was home. I said, why would I leave you home alone? You were only, I don't know how old you were, but
I thought you were like 15
You're
or
only
17.
26. Why would I leave you?
no, I think you were like 10 or 11.
I think it was older than that.
Yeah, I swear
you
you were like
were?
15
wanna
or
say,
17.
Yeah, I was. I would guess 15. I don't know though.
Oh, I would have thought it was a lot younger than
It's a
that.
good thing you didn't leave him home alone because he was setting the house on fire.
But I was so mad because you were like going to the bathtub, filling up cups or something full of water to try and douse the fire that had already gone out of control. And thank goodness
And we
for
managed
our
it, and your
neighbor.
house didn't burn down. You're welcome.
And it saved us a whole year's worth of yard work to
Well,
do that year, dude.
You're welcome too.
I give credit to the neighbor because
Yeah, I was just gonna
he was
say.
just outside watering his lawn, just kind of watching this thing
Unfold.
unfold. He's like,
Well, and he's like,
It's okay.
so he actually came across the street with his hose and put out the fire
well, it's because
eventually. But
his yard, faces, or his home faces that side of the
Yeah.
yard, and it's just a several hundred square foot hill full of, it was just weeds.
Dry
The
ass
time
And so
weeds, yeah.
I'm sure he was just like, yeah, finally, just watching it burn. He's like, we'll wait a minute. And then once that eyesore was gone, he's like, okay, I'll go put it out.
yeah.
I do remember running out, because it's not like he, or at least in my memory, like me and my friend saw what was unfolding at at the time, it's not necessarily like he looked up and saw it immediately. It kind of had to crescendo and build to the point of needing help, you know what I mean? And so I do remember at one point running inside and filling up the red plastic pitcher. And then running outside and seeing him still in his yard with this giant like arc of water. He's like shooting it over the street. And I think I think his son was trying to find the another hose to hook it up and make it longer.
Did he start the fire with you?
No, it's my other friend.
Yeah, man, you had so many friends.
So many friends.
Curly hair. This the curly hair? Mm-hmm. Does he listen? Is he a listener?
I don't know.
He
Who knows?
Is he?
He's a listener?
Yep. He's reached out before. And there was another fire story with his older brother, actually.
I know what you're going for already.
Yeah, we were out there. I don't even know what we were doing. I don't know where we got lighters or why we even had them. But we're just lighting random stuff on fire. Imagine that. And for whatever reason, this was back when like shaggy beach hair was cool.
Shaggy beach hair.
It's
always
still
cool.
cool.
Like okay, yeah, sorry, Russ. But that was like the do. So you had like this mop head going on. Your hair was super long, and just like out of nowhere, he puts this lighter behind your head and just starts lighting it.
I remember this.
And he
story.
just lit your hair on fire just for like the hell of it. And I was like, "What the smoke coming out?" We all started smacking your head.
No, that's what I remember. Is just standing out by where the red truck was used to be parked. Just everybody just shooting the shit, having a conversation.
we weren't even lighting
And then
stuff on
before
fire.
I know it, on the top of my head, I just like a bunch of hits. It's just like, what the hell? 'Cause I didn't feel the burn or anything like that.
Yeah, we weren't lighting stuff on fire actively. He just pulled out a lighter and lit your hair on fire.
I just remember
It was
like
just out of
my head
nowhere.
beat though, and I turned around and you've got like you were fuming. You were so pissed off, and I'm just like, what the hell are you doing?
I was just so confused. And I know he's a listener. If you remember lighting Steven's hair on fire, shoot me a tweet and I'll send you $20.
Is that a reward?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I was angry then, but now I want to light his hair on fire, so I'm just jealous. Well, I'm trying to think of like how to naturally segue these stories that I had written down.
Next story.
Star wipe.
Audible Starlight. Yeah.
Audible star wipe. I had a cringeworthy moment.
You had a lot of those.
It wasn't the pee thing?
It would no.
We already talked about the cringy socks.
Yeah, the crunchy socks were kind of.
No, it was a cringeworthy moment for you, Steven.
There are many, I'm sure.
What's the first one? What do you think I'm going to tell?
Not playing this game. You just go ahead.
Smart. Smooth move. Well played. No, so we were out, I want to say it was for an Easter egg hunt type deal. The four of us.
That's so cringy.
The four of us.
Easter.
Oh, I guess I put.
No, so it was the four of us, and Grandma was with us. And then
Grandma Sheila? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not supposed to use names.
That's okay.
Not full names.
Yeah, just not full
You
names.
get reprimanded
Grandma
for full
She?
names.
She. No, so it was the four of us. I think we were doing an Easter egg hunt, but all I remember is we went down to Linden Park afterwards to just have lunch in the park. And so we went off to play, and you and Grandma, I don't know, were just chilling, I guess, at the park, talking, whatever adults do when kids play. And there was like a big family reunion type thing going on at one of the pavilions. And so while Russell was out playing, he fell and got hurt or something, so he was upset and crying. And so Steven, you were being a good older brother. You went to console him. You're like, hey, it's okay. I'll take care of you. Come on, let's go get you some food. So you meander off to this family reunion that's going on at a pavilion that isn't ours. And he's
Okay, yeah, I remember now.
Food. And so you get him this plate of food, and everybody's looking around like, who are these random kids? And then I just remember. Do you remember this, Mom?
Vaguely. I vaguely remember this. Well, what happened?
Steven was cringe. That was a cringy moment.
What? Cringy for you, maybe. I regret nothing. I was taking care of my little brother.
Yeah, you were helping me,
free
man.
chicken. Yeah, I think you went over, and that's what I remember is you going over and being like, "Oh, we're not with them, Steven. Oh, thanks for trying to take care of your brother, though." Like, I just remember you thinking it was so sweet that he was taking care of him, but that's not our food. And then they let us keep the plate
I think it's funny though that like
and the food on the plate.
you remember that as cringy for me, where like I don't see it as cringy at all, but I do have plenty of memories that like I just keep. It's those like, you know, right before bed thoughts where you're just like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you can't. There's uncontrollable. I have one in particular, cringeworthy moment that I remember myself. Ooh. And think about. Yeah, at least several times since then in my adult life, and felt shame. Is I remember Mom took us to a cemetery. I honestly don't even remember what city or which one. I was just very bored, very uninterested, did not want to be there. Didn't know why these people were just being so quiet and reverent all the time when we had like, you know, we had mountains to climb and bikes to ride and shit to do. Like we're here trying to be quiet and
Fires
reverent.
to start.
Fires to start. I was a little
Socks
kid.
to crunch.
Exactly though. We had a lot of stuff to do.
A
But
lot going on.
we went to somebody's grave and I just didn't understand the significance and importance of it as a kid.
What's the significance?
I don't know.
And you were understandably now very upset and sad, and you had a bouquet of flowers and a couple of balloons that we put them on the grave, and you were just kind of sitting there. I don't remember who you were with. There was another adult. I don't remember who it was, but you were sitting there talking with them. You know, I'm just kind of off in my own little world doing my own thing, making planes with my hands and stuff in the sky. I remember looking at one of the balloons though, and I went, "Ha-cha!" and I punched it as hard as I could. And I made a similar noise too. And the balloon, like, bobs from my hand and immediately swings down to, like, the cold, stiff, dead grass and then just pops right out of there. And I remember you kind of jumped, like, and then you turned around and you grabbed my arm. And you were just so mad. I don't remember any of the words you said. I just remember you were kind of, like, upset, you know. And you, like, led me back to the car and closed the door and went back. And I remember kind of just, like, peering out the window in the car, like, what did I do? I remember as a kid, though, like, I think about it now, just like, why did I do that? It's such a shitty thing to do. But as a kid, I do remember feeling overwhelmed with, like, man, Mom's pissed I popped her balloon.
It's okay for adults
What a
to get
mean
sad
mother
about
I
that.
was.
What's that? No, you were. It's
Put
just,
you in the car.
I'm sorry I popped your balloon.
It's all right. I don't even remember.
I don't know why, but I feel...
Just being karate guy. Karate Steven. Hiya.
When he was talking about the cemetery, I was going to talk about when I went with Dad, but Dad let me bring my airsoft gun. And he was just kind of sitting there in the grass like Dad does, just kind of like throwing stuff, you know, just sitting next to somebody's... I'm pretty sure I know who it was, but he was just letting me shoot birds. And then I was just kind of having a chat with him.
This was at a cemetery?
At a cemetery. Okay. Yeah, with my airsoft gun. It wasn't that powerful, but Dad said as I was just sitting there, I had my gun in front of me. It was loaded, but not cocked. And then as I'm having a, you know, two-way conversation with them, in the middle of it, I just went, and then shot the bird midair. And Dad went, what the hell was that? And he's like, you hit that. Because we saw feathers go. And I just went right back to the conversation like nothing happened. And so Dad was like, what? That was so cool. But like, what the hell?
You said, I got it. You
Yeah,
saw that, right?
did you see that? Poof.
I think my favorite part was that you had to specify it was a two-way conversation. But it's only funny because sometimes with Dad, it's a one-way conversation where you just gotta sit there and listen. That was oftentimes more of a punishment than anything else. So we got to hear for 4 hours what we did wrong and why. And what I was gonna say though, Steven shared a cringy story. I feel like I've shared a lot of like embarrassing stories on this show because I have no shame. I don't care. I want to hear. I don't feel like you've had any like embarrassing stories that you've told.
I'm not embarrassed.
Okay, what is something that a normal person would be embarrassed by? Tell one of those stories.
On the spot here.
Well, while you're thinking about it, what's Russell done, Mom, that's embarrassed you?
Yeah, this is probably a better question because I'm not embarrassed by a lot of things.
I don't know. Russell was always just a joker. Just he brought the comic relief, you know.
I
Even
make
as
the
a little-
podcast.
Yes. Even as a little child, you know, going out to dinner and he putting the chopsticks in his ears to make people laugh. You know, he just always wanted to make people laugh. But embarrassing, I don't know.
I have a couple. I was pretty embarrassed. as a
Throw it
kid.
out there.
You were
throw it out there
embarrassing? I mean, yeah, if you want them out there in the world.
You know, I remember one time me and the same friend who lit the hill on fire with me by the house, we were excited. It was Halloween, and we had dressed up for Halloween, and his mom had fashioned us some really, really cool Dragon Ball Z costumes. And we were both wearing that. And so, of course, now that we were wearing them, we were running as fast as light, and we were lifting, astronomically heavy things and stuff like that, and we were really good at martial arts, just all overnight.
This is what happens when you put on the suit.
Right, exactly. And we go to the trunk or treat with the ward that was up the street, and
maybe we should explain what a trunk or treat is in case... I don't know if that's like a Utah cultural thing.
I think it may have started that way. I think it's grown since then, because, in general, Halloween's just not what it used to be.
Should I not explain a trunk or treat? Well, I'll just do it because now I've already derailed your story. So instead of going house to house, you all go to a parking lot. And here in Utah is like usually the church isn't organized as a function. Instead of going home to home, you go trunk to trunk. You decorate your trunk, and then all the kids there in the parking lot just go to each car, and it's really fast and a lot safer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
neighbors, more ward members, people
yeah, so
safer.
That's a trunk or treat in case they don't do them in your area, listener.
Perfect.
I had the best trunk, by the way.
No, I had the best trunk.
You had the best trunk?
The costume I was wearing, it's literally a character named Trunks.
Trunk
I remember-
or treat. Get it?
Exactly. No, we got our candy and did our thing, and we were just playing Dragon Ball Z, and I was running super fast, just fast as lightning, in between the cars and stuff, zigzagging. And I had been told not to by a few people from the ward. And I didn't listen to them. And I came out from 2 cars at one point, and there was a little girl in a little like fairy tutu dress, and she was a little kid, and I was going really fast, and I wasn't a small kid by any means, and so this poor girl, I didn't just like knock her over and spill her candy. I wrecked this little kid.
She went
knocked
flying?
her. Yeah, she did. She went flying. Like both feet came out from under her. She kind of like flew back a ways and like rolled and skidded on the pavement and stuff.
2005's biggest hits.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
You heard that like bone to cement clonk, like the sound just, yeah. And I remember just being mortified because it was a ward function. Everybody knew it was an accident. I was just playing, so nobody like called me on like, what the hell, dude, or anything. But like there was just the knowing looks from people as they're like assisting her and kind of like glancing over at me.
This is one of my least favorite things about being in a ward.
Trunks. Man.
When you would do something
doing,
wrong,
Trunks?
like on Mutual at church, you do something wrong, and people wouldn't be like, "That's wrong. What the hell?" Like he was just saying, they'd look at you with that face that's like way more killer than
Silent
like what the
judgment.
hell.
That look of disapproval.
Yeah.
Is that that's the last time I ever remember seeing you run. Is that what finally did it?
I swore then and there, never
No
again.
more.
Never again will I run.
I guess I did think of something.
There it is.
This is actually between me and Mom, and you might remember this. This is just embarrassing that now when I think about it and look back on it nowadays, it's one of those things where you sit in bed at night. Like, what the fuck? Why did I do that? It's when I was younger, and speaking of crusty socks, I didn't really know. I didn't know how to use internet browser or my own internet username, so it wouldn't show up on my mom's account or my dad's account. But I was downstairs on the computer, and I had told Mom at the time. This is when you when you came down and saw me looking at women on women action on your computer. Do you remember that?
I erased it from my memory. Women on women?
I tried. Yeah, lesbian.
Oh, light bulb.
What it was.
No, but the thing that I remember was your face, because after you had come down and caught me, I started like walking around the computer desk, and you were like looking at, going, "What is this? Oh my god!" And you were like clicking it. That has stuck with me the most. Not being
What was
caught.
my face? What did my face look like?
Disgusted, repulsed, just like, how could you even think of this?
This makes no sense to women. That doesn't even fit.
That's the face that I can't get out of my head.
How old were you?
Oh man, I want to say 12, but I could have been younger.
Younger?
Well, I don't know. You grow up, you start getting those hormones. You put your wiener on stuff like the fridge door because it just it's
I don't want to know.
it's just what you do.
We didn't pee on it. It's fine.
No pee.
Oh,
pee, no fire.
Yeah, that was. I'm still embarrassed. I should say. I guess that embarrassed me.
Did you put your wiener on our fridge door though?
Sometimes.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad I got rid of that fridge.
You put your wiener on anything.
Who else sits in a room and has these kind of conversations with their mother? How desensitized have we made you over the years?
Yes. pretty desensitized. They're good boy stories. I didn't
That's
have
a
any.
good
Like
boy
bad
story.
boy stories. Yeah.
That's what I was going to name the podcast originally.
Bad boy stories?
Bad boy stories.
Boy
Bad boy stories.
I'm glad I have 3 granddaughters.
I promise they won't put their wiener on anything.
That makes me happy.
Every boy does it.
Yeah, it's
All
true.
you listeners out there, I know you did it.
If you're saying I didn't do that, you're a liar.
I did
Yep.
not put my wiener on the fridge door.
Well, not that
You
fridge.
chose something different.
It's not always a fridge.
Yeah.
They just never told their moms about it.
That's fair.
I remember getting caught looking at porn, though, for the first time. But you knew what I was doing.
For the first time. Second and third weren't too bad.
yeah, it was routine by that point. But no, it was because when we had the office downstairs, it was closed off in a room. When you had it, was obviously not closed off in that room. It was in the open area, right?
Yeah, it was by the laundry room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was no like door you could close. That's like in
Well, I closed the one by the garage, but
Sure,
it's
sure.
like parents know to just come in quietly.
Well,
We know.
yeah, I was gonna say parents know because I was in there, I had the door closed, and you
Well,
were
if you
you were
open-
bistling the carpet, and so I know this was a planned attack because you left the bistle on, and so I thought, yeah, I'm gonna have an audible warning when the bistle turns off. Close the browser, but you left it on. Came down to check. You opened the door. What are you doing? And I was just like, oh shit! Just throw it in my face. But
I've been caught.
and so
So if you
just
close
said,
the door to
"Oh."
the hallway and open the door to the toy room,
Oh
they would
my
have
gosh,
to bump
that's
into
right.
each other, and that would be another.
See, Steven knows.
This
He
is why
hasn't
you
figured out.
and this is why you had to take away all of his doors
Yep.
because he's rigging up the doors to make alarms.
Make crusty socks.
No, I just remember you're like, okay, well, you're done with the computer. You have obviously get off the computer, and so I was gonna make a get off joke, but I didn't. So
The pieces are there.
I just remember being like so embarrassed. And I'm like, okay. So I like went upstairs and like put on some shoes, and then I was going to leave to my friend. And you were like, where are you going? It's like, I'm gonna go next door and play with the neighbors. And you were like, no, we're gonna talk about this. I'm like, no, another talk.
You
I
just
made your dad talk to you about it?
You made Dad talk to me,
I don't remember. Uh-oh.
and he just said, "Don't."
Don't do it.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cut and dry with your dad.
Yeah.
By the time he got to you, though, he'd used up all of his words.
What's the what makes it so different though from like being caught by your mom with that versus being caught by your dad with that, which wasn't as big of a deal? Not just because dad as a person is already pretty passive, you know what I mean, but I was caught by both, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure?
Pretty sure. I remember vividly being caught by dad though. And like he didn't
What did he do?
well I thought I was brilliant and I was like, you know, they can't catch me.
It's James's.
No. It's like, it was more like I can't be caught in the act on the computer if I'm not on the computer. So my brilliant ass printed a picture off and put it under my pillow.
Oh my
Nice.
And I remember what he was doing. He came into my room. Dad came into my room to talk to me. And he sat on my bed and just kind of like put his arms out and felt it under my pillow and pulled it out and just looked at it and kind of restarted ripping it off. He was like, "Just don't do that shit, dude." It's like, okay. That was it.
He was stretching and found your...
He wasn't stretching. He was just kind of going like this, put his hand like for support on the bed, and felt
we
something underneath my
Felt the
pillow.
crusty under
I
your
think
bed.
we might have a Snoops 2.0.
Hey,
Oh.
I'm Snapes.
Snapes.
Yeah, not Snoops.
Maybe Dad knew it was there because that's where Dad keeps his printed nudie pictures.
I check. It's not.
Do you remember how you used to try and shelter us, though, from, like, the media when there was...
I'm so glad you bring this up.
Let's all say it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Cookie time! Anytime there was a movie and that had like boobies in it, it was always okay. Cookie time. And
Get up, go
Time
to
to
the
get a
kitchen.
It was like a
You guys knew.
win-win.
It's like, oh, fine.
See, I grew
like
up,
cookies.
and you'd say cookie time, and I'd no cookies, and I'd go into the kitchen. There were nothing.
Well, I was gonna say, how do you remember that originating? Because I have it in my mind, but I want to know. I want to fact check it.
How do I remember it originating?
Yeah, like how did cookie time start and become a thing?
We watched bad movies and we didn't want you to see, so I don't remember.
I don't remember what the movie was, but it was one that like you guys obviously knew or were anticipating there's gonna be a scene, and in preparation you made cookies and led me and Jamie into the kitchen and said, "Here, come have a cookie right now," and then that just kind of became your solution for a while or a short while after after so many times, like, I just want to watch a movie without making a batch of fucking cookies. I'm sure the term, the title of it stuck, but the act of making cookies did not. And you would just like throw a blanket over our head in lieu of eating
I've been
cookies.
there a few times.
So by the time Russell was old enough, or
didn't get any
was there,
cookies.
he never got any cookies. Like he wasn't even there for the inception. He was just like, why the hell did we call this cookie time?
I
What
knew
does
we
it
called it
mean?
cookie time, but there was never cookies.
Poor Russell. He just knows when mom says cookie time, you get a blanket thrown over your head, and he's just sitting there profoundly confused.
See, she would say cookie time. Dad, I was watching the Harley Davidson movie with them, and that one can get pretty bad at some points. But I remember Dad just being like, "Get up, go to the kitchen. You got it. Sounds good."
No, when we went to see Titanic when it came out in theaters, do you remember?
Steven fist bumping over here with like all these tours. Yes, I was there. I remember that.
You tell him. So we were there seeing Titanic, and that scene where "Draw me your French girls" or "Draw me like one of your French girls." That scene came on, and I was sitting on your right. You leaned over because I had a hat on, like a ball cap, and you took it off my head and pushed it right down in front of my face. But there's like
Two
little
eye holes
air
you can
holes
see
in
out
them,
of.
and so
I
was
have
like,
the exact same.
angle my
No,
head. Just
I have
right.
the exact same like memory story in my head. Like, did we go see it at the same time?
We did, yeah.
And did you
I
just
think I
look
had
over
seen
to
it
see me
before.
and Jamie both just inconspicuously like?
Trying to use the breathing holes.
And so that's the first like decent side boob I saw at a movie theater was.
This full boob. That's
Titanic.
Kate Winslet one boob.
Oh, but all I could see was the side of it through the little tiny
That's fair.
holes. I'm trying to angle my head just right through my hat.
Well, I think we all owe her a thank you, Kate.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kate.
Oh,
Thanks, Kate. Oh,
Thought you meant-
And Mom.
for the cookies. They were good cookies.
Thanks for the cookies and the side boob.
You make great cookies.
No, do you remember that day though at the movies? And I think it was me. It might have been me or Jamie. One of us puked Butterfinger bites into our hat
Oh,
Oh.
during the sinking
that till
scene.
just now.
Wasn't me.
Were you sad because it was sinking?
You just ate
get
too
checked?
much, I think.
I think I ate a whole box of Butterfinger bites, and then like got lightheaded trying to breathe out of my hat.
Don't all look at me.
That's
Yeah,
it.
so-
You're the host, asshole.
Well, I mean, that's all I had like written down for things that we could discuss.
There is one thing I wanted to bring up. Mom had, I'm not sure if anybody else's mothers out there did this, but I did not have a very good memory growing up, so I could not remember our home phone number. I couldn't remember our garage code. I couldn't remember anything, but we are all very musically inclined, and I think Mom knew that, and so she would always put what we wanted to remember into a song for us, and you guys called it, I don't remember ever hearing the wake up thing, the wake up song that you guys call. I just remember her nails on the door, and that was,
Yeah.
that got me up pretty darn quick sometimes. But the one that I remember is my birthday song, because my birthday is no.
Forget?
No.
Do you need to hear the song?
Mom,
Yeah.
what's the song? No, the one that I remember the most is the home phone number song. Can we put our home phone number on the internet?
Let's find out.
I remember your birthday song. If we want to do something in lieu of,
Oh no, it was September 27th. September 27th is my birthday.
is my birthday.
And then you have to go, yeah.
Finger guns.
Yeah.
Do you remember the address song?
Six.
North in Linden, Utah.
Now we should do a take of that where we don't actually use the words. Let's just kind of mumble it. I just started saying the
No, it went. I was still kind of mouthing some parts of the word.
We could say Linden, Utah. We talk about that all the time. But
Yeah.
anyways.
But the home phone number, that one was just. Yeah. And they're never going to leave my head.
Never.
It's the easiest way to remember. I'm going to teach my kids someday.
Yeah,
to
you
remember
can't
stuff
ever
like
move.
that.
You can't ever change your number.
Yeah.
Because that's ingrained.
This is a good way to remember grandma's phone number and address. You guys are screwed for ours, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'll tell my kids.
If you're ever lost, go to grandma's house.
The only thing that I have a correction on that is we're not all musically inclined. I'm not, but you boys are. Because I didn't have.
You're inclined.
You're inclined.
You wrote all those songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the composer.
Do you have any more corrections that you want to make to any of the stories?
Oh,
I feel like
did, but I can't think of them right now.
Let's say the whole episode started off with Jamie saying, "Do you have any corrections or stories?" And we just jumped onto one, which was crusty socks.
Yeah, crusty socks.
and that just took over. I didn't hear
Crunchy socks.
crunchy. Excuse me. We like fall leaves. We didn't hear any more.
And that just gave me a great idea for our first piece of merch.
Oh no.
Crusty socks.
Yeah, but like
crunchy.
crunchy because it's got to be
Crunchy
crunchy.
socks.
So it's little like sock-shaped pieces of cereal. Crunchy sock, and it never gets soggy. That's the
Better patent that quickly.
Yeah, that's ours.
Yeah, that's going to get taken.
Well, before we end, does anyone have any extra stories or opinions that nobody cares about they'd like to share?
Nah, nobody cares.
That is my least favorite joke on this podcast.
Who cares?
We should have named it something different then.
Yeah, Bad Boys. What was it gonna be? But yeah, before we end, did anyone have any extra stories or opinions no one cares about? Is that a tune? Are you holding back a story real good?
No. I was just going to say that thing you hate again. Because I think it's funny.
Jerk. When we do the show, Mom, you're a listener, so you know this. At the end of the show, we like to talk about what we learned from each episode. So we like to go around. Who learned something from today's show?
I learned I need to hide my socks.
Damn
better.
it.
I feel like that was going to be all three of ours at this point.
Well, they had to be washed sometime, so they were just in the hamper. Aw. And you know what's funny about that story too? Dad does his own wash.
Yeah.
And it was mostly because of that. You guys had skid underwear and crunchy socks, and so he didn't want his boys mixing with your boys.
Oh my gosh, that is mind blowing.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Because yeah, I'd always tell Alicia like, no, I'll do my own laundry. She's like, let's just mix it in. I'm like, well, no, I can do it myself. She's, why? I don't know. My dad always just did his on his own.
I'm the same way with Emily.
And so she said, why? Why did your dad do it? I have no idea, actually.
That's why.
We recently had that conversation. That is so funny. He
Yeah.
didn't want his socks mixed with our socks.
Yes, or your poopy underwear or whatever
With
it was
his
at the
poopy
time.
underwear.
With his poopy underwear, yeah. He just wanted his own poop. He wanted his own water.
Don't we all?
Yeah. Well, Russ,
Come back to me.
what did you learn? Well,
Steven took mine.
Steven took mine too.
Well, you all learned the same thing. That's
Yeah.
good.
I
We
guess
can
that's a
learn
good
the
thing.
same lesson, guys. Have you ever been to school?
No. I learned if you're gonna look at inappropriate pictures on the internet, don't print them off to savor it for later.
Or don't put them under your pillow.
Yeah.
Put
Where
them
else
in
would you put them?
in your portfolio. We're adults now.
Portfolio?
I don't know. That's an adult word, right?
This is my
So what is this crunchy portfolio in your corner?
Mom, what did you learn from today's episode?
I learned not to get angry with your child if he pops your balloon. It's not that big of a deal. Don't sweat the small stuff. Balloon popping.
Yeah, but then he never would have learned to.
Be a karate expert.
I didn't learn that. I've never touched a balloon since.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
obviously, you want your kid to be reverent in that kind of situation, and I understand now at 30 years old that you weren't upset about the balloon.
Russ, will you give us the social media shout out?
Yeah. If you do the social media thing, go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just by searching for No Time Like Bro Time or NTLBT.
And then if you like this podcast, feel free to give us a rating. It actually really helps. Wherever you listen, just give it a rating. We prefer 5 stars or higher if it goes higher. But if you didn't like it, go ahead and put however many stars you need. I always like to say smash the like button and verbally abuse the subscribe button.
If you don't subscribe and like us with 5 stars, I'm going to leave for another 3 months.
Oh, no. Please like us and subscribe. Well, I guess that's it for today's episode. I'm Mom's favorite.
Are you, though? We have her. This is a rare opportunity. We can confirm this.
Ooh.
That started off as a joke.
And
It just kind
And
of
it's still not funny 25 years later.
But that's why now we have a great outro. I'm Mom's favorite.
I'm Dad's favorite.
Now I'm Russ.
I'm Mothra.
Well, thanks for listening. Don't do a nasty.
Be a good boy.
Later, butt licks.
I don't like butt licks. I'm just going to say that.
You don't like butt licks?
I don't like butt licks.
Well, that's too bad. Our whole audience is a bunch of butt licks. Steven determined that on the first ever episode. The only person in this room who knows who John Williams is?
No,
Listen
he's
to
the guy
good
in the
music,
white suit
Jamie.
on Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's John Williams. And then he started KFC.
Yep.
You were right.